Good late afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 4:30. Mrs. Weber, please conduct a roll call to establish quorum.
Clerk Hills? Clerk Hills? Here. Member Malczewski? Here. Member Kelly? Here. Member Morgan? Here. President Perry?
Here. Mrs. Weber, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, we have one change. Let me get to it. So the conference request under 10J that was placed on the agenda was incorrect. The correct conference is Educating for Careers 2025, and the dates are March 2 through 4, 2025 in Sacramento. This conference is an opportunity for educators, administrators, and career development professionals to engage in thought-provoking sessions, share best practices, and network with colleagues dedicated to improving the future of career education. The total cost should be listed as $2,300.
So was this one put in here because there was?
Use your mic, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's on? So was this mistaken information put in here because there's a second trip you're taking that you know? Oh,
No, the first one was not correct.
okay.
This one is learning about all career education at all levels.
Yeah, no, I
elementary,
don't need an
middle, and high school.
explanation. I was just confused about how there was a conference you wanted to go to that was wrong.
I
Yeah, whatever. It's not a big deal.
I saw the conference listed, and it was in Sacramento, and I thought it must be the same one, but it wasn't the
I
one
see.
that I
Okay.
wanted to attend.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
I move to adopt the agenda as amended.
Okay. I'm waiting for a second. Thank you.
So I have one question before we vote. What are the notice requirements on changing the agenda within the 72 hours, just so that people in the audience are clear?
So as long as the board votes to change the agenda, it can be changed. It's just not a good idea to do it regularly because the public doesn't know what's going on if we do it all the time.
Right, so it's different information, but in this case, because it's still the same kind of request, I think it's not as big a deal, so, okay.
Okay, all in favor? Oh,
Is this the only change to the agenda?
this is the only change that I know of.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
Thank
Aye.
Okay, closed session. Public comment on closed session agenda items. Clerk Hills, are there any speakers for public comments on closed session items?
On or off? Okay. We have a request for speaker Lauren Anderson.
Good evening, board members. My name is Lauren Anderson, and I'm a current teacher at Thurston Middle School. Thank you for the opportunity to address you tonight. I want to express my thoughts on the importance of selecting the right candidate for the interim superintendent position and offer a recommendation for your consideration. As you meet in closed session, please direct the HR department to evaluate the potential of appointing one of our 3 current assistant superintendents to serve as the interim superintendent. Each of these individuals is highly qualified and deeply familiar with the operations and culture of our district. Each of these individuals has shown unwavering dedication to the students of LBUSD and has proven their ability to lead with integrity and professionalism. Your primary responsibility as board members is to serve the best interests of our students. Appointing an interim superintendent who already understands the inner workings of our district ensures a smooth transition, continuity in leadership, and minimal disruption to ongoing initiatives. It also allows the board to focus entirely on the critical and time-sensitive process of selecting a permanent superintendent. I must also express strong concern about the possibility of appointing a current board member to serve as interim superintendent. Such a decision would be highly unorthodox and would present significant conflicts of interest. It would distract the individual from their essential board duties, and most importantly, divert the board's collective focus from the urgent task of identifying and hiring a qualified permanent superintendent. In closing, I encourage the board to make a decision that upholds the integrity of this process and prioritizes the needs of our students. Thank you.
Hey, Board. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak to you tonight. I've been a teacher here for 19 years, and this is honestly the first time I've ever approached the board to share any opinions about anything. So obviously I feel pretty strongly about this, and it's kind of nerve-wracking to be up here too. So I want to echo what Lauren just shared with you. I want to encourage you to elect an interim superintendent. And I would like to encourage you to choose one of our 3 outstanding assistant superintendents to serve in that interim position, because they are the most qualified to do so. They're already serving as in a superintendent capacity in our district. They are the ones who know how to run the business of the schools. And you are looking at 3 incredible men who have already dedicated their careers to serving the students in this capacity. They've already shown us their capabilities, and they've been providing our students with excellent services for a large number of years. I think Mr. Dixon's been here for 16 years, Mr. Conlon for 10 years, and I think Dr. Mabry since 2018, if I'm correct. I applaud their outstanding service to our district, and I don't think there's a better interim that you could find. I also, like Lauren, agree that it would be highly inappropriate and unorthodox to choose a board member to serve as an interim superintendent. I think that your job is very important, and I think it would do a disservice to you as a board member to bifurcate your duties and to transition to a different role. Your job right now needs to be focusing on finding us the best damn superintendent that you can find, because that's what we deserve, and that's what our students deserve. And I, for one, really miss our superintendent that we had, and I know all of us teachers do. And I don't know if you're going to find a good one, but I hope you do, and I hope you put all of your efforts toward that. And I don't think you should be thinking about serving as an assistant or as an interim right now. I think you should be thinking only about finding us the best damn superintendent that you can find us. And I'd like you to keep that in mind tonight in closed session. Thank you.
Next speaker is Laura Silver.
Good afternoon. I don't know what time it is. Good afternoon, members of the board. I am Laura Silver, a 25-plus year veteran of Thurston Middle School, Laguna Beach Unified School District, and like Randy Beckley, don't really have the opportunity or see the need to address the board, but I definitely do with this issue. I strongly encourage you to consider one of our 3 assistant superintendents, Dr. Mayberry, Mr. Conlon, and Mr. Dixon, as our interim superintendent. They have qualifications, experience, know-how, hands in the schools, already in the administration. They know the ins and outs. And I think those are the qualities necessary to seamlessly help transition as we find our way to a new superintendent or even just an outstanding interim superintendent. A school board member as an interim or an interim superintendent is not pragmatic. It's a certain conflict of interest, and I agree again with Ms. Beckley that our board members should be really hyper-focused on finding someone to lead our district and keep us progressing in the way that Laguna Beach does, and not knock us back at all. And so all of your efforts hopefully will be put to that. So either Mr. Dixon, Dr. Mayberry, or Mr. Conlon would be the most sensible choices to make for an interim superintendent. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. The next speaker is Newth Morris.
I think that was meant for later in the open session. 3A.
Okay. Sorry, I was given these cards for this, but I'll hang on to it. Is April Kaufman for this session?
Good evening, April Kaufman. I teach here at Thurston as well, and I'm also a parent. I have 2 boys at El Moro. But as you've already heard, we've just been hearing things that a board member was being considered to be appointed, and it is, I think, disturbed a lot of the staff, and we do feel that we have 3 amazing gentlemen right here that could easily fill that spot while you're searching for an interim in the meantime, and that's really what would be best for our district at this time. So we appreciate the efforts that you're already putting into finding a new superintendent, but as you're looking for an interim, we have 3 amazing guys that we think could do the job over the next few weeks as you continue that search. So thank you for listening.
I think then, with the exception of Mr. Morris, I think that's all the speakers we had with cards. Anybody else? Madam President, could I ask a question about,
Yes, Clerk Hills?
what's that?
Yeah.
I was going to ask if the members think that we should maybe ask staff to look into the whole issue of whether somebody was proposing that a member of the board be appointed superintendent, because I haven't seen anything to indicate that. So,
That's on the agenda, number 8, so I
Yeah.
think we can't discuss that right now.
well, I'm just saying in response to the public comments, we might want to look
But
into
it's
that.
on the agenda, so you have to talk about it when it's agendized, not now.
Okay, well, the public comments are on the agenda.
Yeah, but
And
we're
at the-
it's already agendized to respond to it.
That will be addressed when, at
Okay, thank you.
number 8.
Thanks.
I know, I'd like to respond also, but can't.
What's that?
I would like to respond also, but I can't. Okay, so do we have a motion to go to closed session?
So moved.
I'd second it.
Thank you. Okay. What we're looking at in closed session is conference with labor negotiators, Government Code 54957.6, and public employee employment appointment, interim superintendent, Government Code 54957. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Adjourn to closed session.